Hello, SOBs and newcomers and anyone watching. My name is Jared Logan, and welcome to Stream of Blood. And today we return to the twisting streets of London for part 3 or 4 in our Dread Expectations series, a Cthulhu mythos investigation taking place in London in the 1850s. It is a Dickensian milieu, so get out your old copies of Nicholas Nickleby and Oliver Twist and follow along. This is Stream of Blood. It's a tabletop role-playing games channel where we play horror games. Call of Cthulhu 7th edition is the game we are playing today, and a great game it is. It's my favorite edition of the game, a game I've been playing for 10, 15, maybe almost 20 years maybe. Let's get a little business out of the way first. First of all, it's time to give some promos. We're doing some exciting, different new games coming up. So this Friday, July 17th at 6 p.m. Pacific time, it is part 2 of Blood and Glass, our crossover with the Glass Cannon guys. We are playing another installment of our Blades in the Dark campaign. Blades in the Dark is this incredible fantasy, crime, noir, steampunk game from Evil Hat Games, and we will have Troy LaValle and Joe O'Brien from the Glass Cannon back for that, as well as our own Ross Bryant from our Vampires of Pittsburgh series. Last time was so fun. We love working with the Glass Cannon guys, playing with the Glass Cannon guys, and meeting their fans who are, I think, the greatest fans on the internet. So please tune in for that, because this time we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of the Blades in the Dark game, which has this incredible kind of downtime mechanic where between adventures you forward all these intrigues and plots that are specific to your character, and you choose your next job. So that's what we'll be doing Friday, July 17th at 6 p.m. on Stream of Blood. Also, this is the really big news. We are taking part in Gen Con Online this year. So Gen Con is, of course, the biggest tabletop role-playing games, board games, every kind of card game convention in the country. This year it is online for many very good reasons. But we will be part of that, and we are going to be hosting, I think, something like 4 games connected to Gen Con, and those games are going to be available to sign up for. Some of them, 2 of them in fact. You will be able, if you sign up for the games and pay for a spot, you will be able to be a part of the Neptune Society. The Neptune Society will have a game involving Gen Con attendees, and we will also be playing a Vampires of Pittsburgh game where Gen Con attendees take the roles of anarchs in Pittsburgh. So go to gencon.com in the event finder, and please sign up for those games. We'll also have games with our regular cast that will sort of react or play off what the Gen Con attendees do in their games. So you'll get to see people who are just attending the con create situations or continuity that our stars and our actors and comedians will have to react to in part 2 of their storyline. So I'm really excited about that, and really excited to be part of Gen Con this year. So please go sign up for those games, or just watch the shows when we throw them up, and that'll be at the end of the month. That's like July 31st, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of August, I think. Anyway, gencon.com will tell you all that. My interview with my favorite podcast hosts. They're the hosts of my favorite podcast. Sometimes people ask me about the books behind me. It's actually kind of a popular thing for people in the chat to kind of ask me about this kind of cool little bookshelf I have behind me. A lot of people think that it's like a strong background for me. Well, my favorite podcast hosts host a show called the Appendix N Book Club Podcast, and where they talk about the Appendix N, which are books that were recommended by Gary Gygax in one of the editions of the Dungeon Master's Guide. And I've read a lot of those novels, and I follow their show where they review a book every week from that list. Old fantasy novels from the 60s, 70s, very early 80s. And they're such erudite men. They are gentle and brilliant, and I love them. So it's Jeff Goad and Hoy co-host of the Appendix N podcast. Please check out our YouTube channel and you'll see my interview with them. Okay, wow, that was a lot of stuff this week. Also, the title card you see every time you tune into the Neptune Society is an incredible piece by our friend Will Pottorff. Go to willpottorff.com to see more of his incredible, almost always monster-related art. And, of course, we often feature original game art by our friend Ross Bryant, who plays in a lot of our games. And the theme music for the Neptune Society today comes again from our listener, viewer Warbird. And you can find more of his music at soundcloud.com/Warbird. Final thing, I always say this, and I'm going to keep saying it. Guys, we do not have a Patreon on Stream of Blood. We do not ask for your monetary support. What we do ask right now is for you to go to joincampaignzero.org and give them a little money. Campaign Zero is an initiative that is looking for ways to change how policing works in America, to find solutions other than policing for problems in our cities across the country. And I think for a bunch of different reasons, you could see why that would be really important right now. We think they're a really solid organization, and we think that if you were going to give $5 to us, don't do that. Go there, give $5 to them because they can use it, and they're going to make sure that they handle all the kind of horrible issues like police brutality that are going on in America. Let's keep the horror in here in the game so that when we're done with the game and we're all scared, we get scared in the game, we can go out in the real world and not be scared. Wouldn't that be great if one day you could just leave your house and not be scared? Am I revealing too much about my psychology during quarantine? Maybe. All right. That's enough of all that. Let's get into some Call of Cthulhu. I'm very pleased to bring back your incredible players today. She's just fantastic. Playing the clever orphan, Wilma Wiggles, the Dickensian street urchin, Wiggles, who I think solved most of the mystery herself in the last chapter, I think. Who's just a stupendous player, and I love every time we get to have her on. Please welcome Becca Scott, everybody.
What's up? So glad to be back. And Wilma Wiggles.
Hello.
She's not too happy. She's just a teenager. She had to solve everything. These detectives, so they called themselves, they did nothing except fight with an orangutan, which was useful, no doubt. And I couldn't have done that part alone. But the mystery, that's all Wilma.
Right.
Wiggles.
She's the crime solver, and the detectives are sort of her sidekicks. Now, was it you that fed a bunch of cocaine to
myself
yourself last time?
Yes. Well, I got that from Archibald Fredericksham.
Right.
He just happened to have some, and I was really low on health points and everything else, so I thought pick me up works for other people. I think we gave some to the horse as well.
That's right. So, but it's the 1850s. So at that time period, cocaine was just a pick me up. Definitely you could give it to children, no problem. Teenagers, no sweat. Hopefully there weren't any negative effects. We'll find out today.
Absolutely none.
Yeah, no, you were great. It just made you faster. That's how cocaine works in role-playing games. You just take something that makes you faster. I don't know why, but that's what I ruled.
Runner. Yeah.
Let's bring out your next player. This guy is a fantastic dungeon master in his own right. He's a hilarious comedian. You can see him in TV and films, and he's playing the sickly and somewhat blue-blooded investigator Archibald Fredericksham. I'll let you tell him more. Let him tell you more about that character. Please welcome Will Weldon, everybody. Hey, pal.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi.
Hello. Okay. Hi. Oh, I like your. What do you got? A do-rag on there? A headband?
Yeah, it's just a bandana. It's all just getting a little long to.
Double to the mask.
Yeah, it's not a great situation going on up there anymore.
Yeah, you've been really isolating really hard. It looks like.
Yeah.
No
I just had
with your wife. I think you told me you demanded no contact with your wife.
Yeah, I just had a lot of really like severe mental illness fit, and then like a couple weeks ago, I found out about this COVID thing, and I was like, the perfect excuse, methinks.
Yes, perfect.
I had that, but in the opposite order.
Oh, right, the COVID gave the mental illness. Yeah. How do you feel about Archibald Frederiksham today, Will? What do you think's going to happen with him?
Who knows? I made a little pledge myself to be a little more cooperative with the actual playing of the game aspect.
Why would you
Not necessary.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, look. I blame everybody else for egging me on, man. It's not my fault.
Look, your character and John's character, you kind of have some beef, So it was natural that you guys would kind of be a little competitive, have some hurt feelings. I think it's okay.
Yeah, it reminds me of the fable of the frog and the scorpion,
No, I don't know what you mean. All right, let's bring out our next
the frog is trying to run a role-playing game, right?
Yeah.
And the scorpion is misbehaving, okay? Bring on John. I don't have anything more for that bit.
Okay. This next guy is just an insanely funny improviser, talented actor, and just a hardcore nerd who loves everything geek, and just a mensch. A pleasure to talk to. Please welcome, playing the two-fisted former rugby player detective Slab Harrington, Mr. Jon Gabrus.
Hello.
Hey, pal.
Hi, I'm sitting on the floor in a guest bedroom in Palm Springs, so I couldn't feel more like a child than, honey, I have to go play games with my friends on the internet, and then I sit down on the floor with my bottle.
How's your Palm Springs vacay going? How's your little kind of home away from home?
It's been nice. It's 116 degrees out today, so it's a perfect day for role playing.
Yes. The COVID can't survive in that heat.
So you were in too warm of a place, so you decided to drive to a warmer place?
That's correct. Well, here's the thing. Now, a lot of maybe some of the viewers will understand this, but when you're almost 40 and still live in an apartment, sometimes you will spend double your rent to live in a house for 2 weeks, just to feel alive and feel like a grown up, and to not make eye contact with your fucking neighbor who does work calls shirtless on his Bluetooth headset.
Nice. I got to get that guy on the stream.
Yeah, trust me, he's a little more cooperative player than fucking Archibald. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not actually. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm the lone
Save it for
guilty
the
party.
game. Save it for the game. How Slab last time got in a fist fight with an orangutan carrying a razor blade on the roof of a building. And that orangutan, Slab did save some children, but then the orangutan gave him a major wound.
One way to describe that is Slab Harrington defeated a switchblade wielding orangutan or straight razor wielding orangutan on the roof of a building and rescued children. Now,
which one of them is splattered on the ground right now? Answer that.
Yes, the orangutan. And he's recovering. So we're gonna get into that in just a second. But first, did anybody check any skills last time? Why don't we improve those skills if we check them? This is the way we ease into the world of Eldritch horror, by first just kind of looking at our character sheets again for the first time in weeks.
I just got the one in first aid.
Okay. You know what to do, Becca. You just roll your percentile dice, and you're trying to roll over when you improve a skill. Normally you're trying to roll under.
Over when I rolled, so that's what happened.
Yeah. So you didn't get it. Okay, great. Slab, I think you had some, right? Did you have your fighting?
I had brawling and jumping, I think.
Okay, great. Let's
truly chase an orangutan across like 6 buildings.
I think you know a little bit about jumping if you did that. So try to roll over your fighting on your 2 percentile die. Try to roll over it. You have a pretty high fighting.
Yes. I'm in a little bit of a bind here because I'm on my phone doing this. So because I didn't pack I packed mushrooms, but not dice.
I hear you. No, it happens to me. It happens to the best of us. You're on the mushrooms right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, they should be kicking in right about now.
Okay, good. Your eyes seem very dilated.
Wait, I rolled a 72. I don't think that's higher, unfortunately.
No, you have the highest. Your highest skill might be fight, so you didn't improve your fighting.
Well, you're already the master. What room is there for improvement?
Yeah.
That's right.
Well,
yeah.
I'm already the master. I got fucking turned inside out by an orangutan with a straight razor. So I didn't do that great.
I don't think that's anything to be ashamed of. So let's try rolling over jump.
I got a 20. I think my jump was higher than that.
I think it was. So you haven't.
It starts at 20, yeah.
And Will, you're probably unsure what Archibald did. Did he check any skills last time? Are you aware?
Yeah, I believe it was charm. I know I had one to check, and I'm pretty sure it was charm because I remember really winning a police constable over to
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So go ahead and try to roll over your charm.
What am I looking for here? That's the right order. I got 6. Hell yeah, dude! I got 69. All right, okay.
Hell yeah, this is gonna be a good ass game, bro.
Hell yeah,
bro. PG-13 stream, dog.
Hell yeah.
So, that means
I got a fucking Eldritch Horror for you, dude.
All right, that's definitely a different stream. Roll a d10 and add that much to your charm skill. Archibald has become that much more charming, that many points more charming.
Ooh, brother, I rolled a 1.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, you get one more point. That ain't nothing. And then
I also got a major wound.
Oh, that's right. And that's what we're going to deal with right now at the top of the game.
Oh, okay.
We're going to deal with that right away. First, I'm looking up how to give you your luck back. Actually, I'll get into that in a little bit once we start adventuring. But I'm going to set the scene right now, which is that you are all back at the Neptune Society in one of the back rooms that are reserved for members who need to stay overnight. Perhaps they drank a little too much grog in the sign of the Trident earlier in the evening. So there are rooms reserved for them. And they're convalescing comfortably amidst a sea of satin pillows. In fact, the room is so comfortable, it's a little bit emasculating. There lies that fire plug of a man, Slab Harrington. And Slab, you have been cared for by the gentleman you met who leads the Neptune Society, Jeffrey Middlemass, Captain Middlemass.
Stream off bled.
Yeah, and I don't know. Was that GPS directions?
How do I get to the internet?
That's okay. Do whatever you got to do. Alexa, play Call of Cthulhu. Okay. So you have been cared for by him and a doctor. Dr. McCorkadall has been caring for you. So you've been cared for very well. But you still need to try to recover. So as you're laying there and they're feeding you, elaborate 1850s breakfasts in bed, and they're checking on your bandages that are wrapped around you, because I believe that the ape mostly slashed your back open.
That is correct.
Okay.
I believe he said in orangutan, "I'm about to give you a upper level asshole."
Right, he said that in ape. Yes. You can roll your con. Okay, and I'm just going to let you know the situation with this con roll, okay? If you succeed, you get better by, a couple of hit points. If you fumble it, like if you were to roll a 99 or a 100, something terrible will happen, and, your back may never be the same. But because you're being cared for so well, I'm giving you 2 bonus die to this roll, because you really are. It's not like, these rules are set up that, like, sometimes you have to recover in, like, a submarine at the bottom of the ocean or something horrible like that. But you actually are being well cared for by the Neptune Society. So, Slab, you can roll
D100 for under.
Yeah, you're trying to roll under your con. What is your con?
The big number is 70.
Okay, that's pretty damn good. And you can roll a D10 2 more times if you fail that. So tell me how it goes.
You're a hardy boy.
You're a hardy boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what me and Archibald used to get teased. They used to call us the Hardy Boys. Bust our balls.
And you guys
were
like
the Hardy boy, and I was the Hardly boy. Yeah.
You were the Hardy Boy. He said, "See you, Hardy Boy." I rolled a 92, so that's bad.
Oh my God. Okay.
Well, wait. You said I get 2 more dice. What does that mean? I get to potentially re-roll.
Yes,
Or,
you get 2 more 10s die. Just roll like a 10-sided die like 2 more times, and so your 92 could end up being a 52 or a 72 or whatever you roll on that.
Oh, I get to change the first number twice, is what you're saying?
Exactly. It's called a bonus die. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so like if I was using real dice, I'd be picking up my 10 to re-roll.
You got it. Yes, exactly.
So if I re-rolled the single dice and got 96 instead, that would be such a waste of a bonus die. Got it.
It would, yes. And judging how the dice are going so far, where no one was able to improve a skill, you're definitely...
I barely improved a skill.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Will Weldon's wife just gave him a +1 in charm after all that effort. I got
Good inside joke to our email thread.
What did you get?
I got a 62. I passed my con check.
Okay, well, thank God you had those bonus die to help you. So you pass. So the first week passes, and you regain 1 HP.
Hell yeah, dog! I think I was at 1.
Yeah.
So now you're at 2.
You and Ultrabald, if you've lost any HP, it recovers because I don't think either of you took a major wound. So in a week's time or 2 weeks' time, it looks like it's going to take 4 years for Slab to recover here. You're definitely going to be back to normal by that time. So let's go ahead and roll again, John. Let's have Slab roll his con again, and he gets the bonus die again because he's continued to be cared for.
I rolled a 48 sans bonus die.
That's good. Is that half your skill by any chance? I mean, is it? No, that's not half of 70. Okay. That time you got 2 more HP back.
Great.
But I know how many weeks are going to pass before our scene is going to start. So let's hopefully our friend Slab gets a little bit more together before everything starts again. You should go ahead and roll those bonus die to see if you maybe like roll a 16 or something. Go ahead and roll.
Oh, okay, good call. I rolled a 98, then a 68. So
okay, no problem. So then here's the final week. We're gonna let 3 weeks pass. Only 3. That's all I'm gonna allow. So roll a Constitution one more time, and I'll just let you know that as these weeks pass, Captain Middlemass is constantly at your bedside, reading you old books and correspondence, and generally boring the hell out of you. He's just a terrible person to spend your convalescence with.
Do you love it, Slab? Because I was an orphan, and then, Middlemass, he read me books until I was, much bigger than him, and it doesn't seem right for him to be in my bedroom at night, but he still read me.
It was perfectly innocent.
Making up for lost time.
Well, Slab's not really a fan of books, Wiggles, but Slab is a fan of being mortally incapacitated, so anything to pass the time works. Gonna roll.
What else can you do for entertainment without books?
Oh, well, I had to ask Middlemarch to give me a quick tug off, but he said no dice.
That is wildly inappropriate.
That wasn't his exact words, but yes. Okay, how'd you do on that final con roll?
I rolled a 55.
Okay, and did you try just those 2 bonus die again just to see if you get something really good?
I'll do that. There we go. A 10, so 15.
Hey, that is an excellent roll, and I think that's an extreme roll for you. So that last time you got, and I rolled the highest I could. You got 6 HP back in your last go there.
6.
I can't help.
This game is like designed to kill player characters.
That's correct.
I rolled the highest I possibly could. You have 6.
That's correct, and hopefully one of you dies today. Okay, here we go.
Wait. Luck is improved. I've been doing my reading the same way a skill that's checked is improved by rolling above your luck and adding a D10.
Yes, thank you, Becca, for finding that, and everybody can do that.
Mr.
Yes.
Keeper, you didn't check the homework, Mr. Keeper.
She's helping you out. You're gonna
I
need
know.
that luck.
Oh, I need actual luck, as in Jon Gabrus needs better rolling luck.
Yeah.
How'd
How'd you do, Beck?
Oh yeah,
I
sorry.
rolled just a 5.
Oh, I'm
We could call it
sorry.
105 if we wanted.
Well, she'll have to just keep using up that luck. How'd you do, Will?
We're supposed to roll over, right? Because I
Over
rolled
your luck.
Okay, I rolled a 28, which just beats it.
Oh, great. So go ahead and add a D10 of luck to your luck total.
I rolled a 64, but I think I have 64 on my character sheet, but I think it might have went down. I just don't have any pencil marks.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna be really nice to you and say, well, you have 64 luck right now.
Dude, 64 luck?
Yeah, well, people start really high. Some people start in the 90s with their luck. I'm gonna be really
Dude, I am
nice to
cursed. Oh my god.
you and say that we're gonna keep it at 64, John. But you better do better bookkeeping this time, or I can't promise that I'll be able to help you next time.
Yes, fair enough. I'll remember to pack my character sheet next time I go on vacation with my wife.
Exactly. That's all I ask.
Honey, let's get rid of your insulin. I need to bring my D10.
To set the scene, you were all at the.
I added 8. I added 8 to my luck. I got 8. I just want people to know I rolled well.
And that you hold up numbers like a British person.
8. Is this? Would they do like this normally? You guys here?
This is us Americans.
I'm sorry.
Like the last one I played with you.
Masquerading British person.
And then this is the Van Buren boys. I rolled a 1. I just want the record to state that despite the keeper's generosity and letting me have a 64 in luck, I added 1 to it. So I have 5 now.
Good. Well, justice prevails then. And so we set the scene. Wiggles and Archibald, you are at the bedside of Slab Harrington and watching him eat his breakfast in bed. You think that perhaps he could have left a week ago and is just really enjoying the generosity of Captain Middlemass, who is currently finishing up reading a letter. And he's like saying, oh dear, this is terrible. Apparently Quincy Ferrymore has gone missing in Africa. That is very troubling. Oh, but I have something. Oh, what's that, Wiggles?
Well, I just know from my keeper here that's a dear friend of Middlemass. Must be very.
It is. It's very troubling. Very troubling. We'll just have to wait for more information. But I've heard tale of his adventures in Africa, and apparently he's gone missing. No one can find him. He's disappeared into the jungles. Wow. Very troubling. But,
I'm Speaking of missing people we care about, are my orphan friends? They healing too.
Yes. Thanks to my good friends and crack detectives, Slab and Archibald, my 2 orphan wards, other than Wiggles, are doing great. They're doing splendidly. Yes.
Captain, I feel like maybe I'm your favorite orphan because you haven't talked about them much. And I take them away.
Weirdly, I prefer to never have them in the same room as me. But yet you're always welcome. So it's an odd thing. But look, enough about that. I am very happy to present you with a gift, Slab. Ooh. I know you've been through a lot. I know you were badly hurt in saving my 2 orphan wards. And I'm just so proud to present something to you that I think that you will cherish as a memory of our friendship for the rest of your life. Slab,
the whole time Middlemarch is talking to me, Slab is like hammering down breakfast. It's gross. Middlemarch is like trying to get Slab to look up. I'm just hammering, stuffing boiled eggs and shit in my mouth. I know it's my last meal here for a while.
Also, Archibald is unbelievably jealous that someone else is getting attention for being ill. I'm just like boiling with jealousy right now. Like literally turning
Cough
green.
syrup, so maybe he'll get sick and someone will take care of him.
Yeah, I'm like dabbing at my forehead, hoping someone will notice. Like, oh me, oh dear.
Well, as very good friends, I'm sure I don't have to tell you, Slab, that my name is Middlemass, not Middlemarch.
Oh,
And-
sorry, I get you
No.
confused.
Well, no, it's okay. You have to keep so many suspects in your head. But by way of a thank you for saving my two less capable orphan wards, I present to you the orangutan, which I have had stuffed for you. Yeah, make a sanity roll.
I feel
His face is all crooked because it's hard when you take the skin off the thing. It's really about the infrastructure underneath. I just watched a video on taxidermy.
Wiggles helped with the stuffing, actually.
Yeah, I've got my hands dirty.
my wound is burning. My wound is heating up. I've never felt it so hot. Woo!
Well,
Do you want me to
really
stuff
miraculous.
you like I stuffed the orangutan? Maybe. I've gotten better at first aid.
I think I would love it if Slab actually made a sanity roll when he sees the orangutan.
Oh, boy.
Yes, Slab, perhaps he's upset because it doesn't completely resemble the orangutan he knew so well, and I put the straight razor into the stuffed orangutan's hand because I've been saving it because I figured he'd want it as a souvenir.
What am I checking against here?
You're going to check against your sanity. Remember, sanity goes down, and you have to check against the new number when it goes down. I don't think it went down very much last time, though.
Oh, okay. I have a 45 insanity, and I rolled a 99.
Did you download like a cheating program?
That's the
It's this one that Clint fucked me. Clint sent me some hack program.
That's Clint, the secret keeper. Clint, he'll do that to you. Okay, so Slab, you only lose one sanity point for this, but I think just to finish up the scene, Slab is horribly traumatized by seeing the orangutan, and after everybody holds him down and gives him sedative, hours later, you're able to reconvene to talk about how you will move forward in the case of the purloined lens. Last time you got a couple clues together. Now it's been a couple weeks since we played, so I wouldn't blame you for maybe not remembering all of them. So why don't I go into a little bit of a recap for you, okay? So this is what you and Middlemass and Wiggles and the two detectives talk about. Last time your party of investigators was called to the Neptune Society by Middlemass. There had been a break-in. You did an investigation of the premises and you turned up some red hairs. And you found that something was missing, a magical artifact, a crystal lens. Wiggles suspected Sergeant Fluke, a suspicious policeman she had tangled with in her last adventure. And so you guys went to Scotland Yard where you used your powers of persuasion, Archibald's incredible charm roll, to finagle Fluke's address. But before leaving, you glanced at a report saying there was a break-in at the Middlemass residence. And that's when you had an adventure leaping from townhouse roof to townhouse roof after a razor blade wielding orangutan. And that's when you fed the horse some cocaine and all of the craziness happened. And the orangutan was eventually murdered. But you were not yet closer to finding the purloined lens. The last thing that you heard after killing the ape was a strange whistling that seemed to be coming from an alleyway nearby, but you weren't able to follow up and find out where it came from. So, what will you do next? Where will you go? And how will you find the lens? Middlemass is like, well, now that you're better, Slab, I assume that you will go and grab the culprit and return my property, because you've probably been, the entire time you've been ill, you've probably been thinking of the case and working out all the angles.
You're right, Middlemass. I just had one last request before I leave. Do you have any more of that back bacon that you guys have been whipping up here? It's fantastic. I'm a big fan.
Oh, I'll have Miss O'Berry prepare some for you. Yes.
Goodness, Slab, I'll never understand your enjoyment of the meat from the back of a cloven animal. Absolutely wretched to me.
none of that's important, gentlemen. Quit thinking about your stomachs. We're trying to solve a case. You don't understand.
But how does a detective solve a case without trusting his guts? The answer, he uses his intellect. Excellent point, Wiggles.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. Quit thinking about your guts. Okay, so all we know is that Fluke's out there, and I think he's the culprit, and I want to find him. So maybe, just maybe, I'm going to roll for an idea.
Okay, if you'd like to do that. Well, I can tell you that, if you are thinking about Fluke, Sergeant Fluke,
he was ill, correct?
What's that?
We learned he was ill. He'd left the force because he was sick.
Thank you. Yes, that's true, Archibald. Yes. Oh, someone kept notes. Look at that.
There's supposed to be jokes in this, but I'm not prolific.
Wiggles, you may roll for an idea if you'd like.
Yeah, because we know about the Order of the Digon.
Someone else kept notes. Where are your notes, John? Did you bring your Call of Cthulhu notes with you to Palm Springs?
Listen up, Middle Ditch, whatever your name is. I've totally forgot everything.
I got a hard success coming up with the best idea. Listen to what I've cooked up.
Here's what you've cooked up. Yeah.
Insert adjective.
You think going to this address, you may be able to figure out. You think that it's probably likely that the Order of Dagon and Sergeant Fluke are one. Sergeant Fluke is a member of the Order of Dagon, or he's very affiliated with it. So you think going to this address that you got from Scotland Yard for Sergeant Fluke could be quite dangerous, because when you all were researching in the Neptune Society library, you learned that the Order of Dagon is a very dangerous fringe group with, horrifying occult beliefs.
But that's no good. We need to prepare and have some weapons, and maybe, I don't know. There's a shotgun here that I could take with us, borrow from Middlemass without asking.
Well, it is the year 1852, so there is an enormous blunderbuss that you could take with you. Absolutely. Would you like to do that? 15-year-old Wiggle?
Give me that blunderbuss.
Done. Your blunderbuss is...
Oh, we love these things in America. In America, well, we love these. We have them hanging on our fire escape. We keep them in our bed. We let our kids point them at each other and shit. We love those.
I lean over to Slab and I go, she's going to be terribly disappointed when she discovers that women lack the proper tendons to fire such instruments.
It's going to do 1d10 plus 1 damage and fire 60 yards. But you can only fire it once every 4 rounds, Wiggles, because, you're putting the musket ball in and you're tamping it down and you're doing all the things that you have to do. And it's also quite large. It's quite large. Just another thing to keep in mind. Not very concealed.
Fashion it to my back with a strap.
I think that's completely allowed and possible. So now you have a 15-year-old street urchin in fingerless gloves wearing a blunderbuss on her back, like some sort of Dickensian Rambo.
Yeah, sort of like a Dickensian Jakku scrap herder or whatever.
Yeah.
What everyone's favorite movie?
On some clues.
What other things would you guys like to do to prepare before you go? If in fact that is where you're going.
We're going to go to the Order of the Dagon house. So not go to Africa, Wiggles. I was in and out because I was starving. I heard Africa. Is that someplace you might?
No, Slab. The Africa was just a mention of a previous episode. People like some continuity here.
Ah, yes, I see. Sometimes a world must be built. Thank you, Mr. Middlemarch. Well, I feel like an idiot buying this boat ticket to Africa. What a waste of money. Oh, well, then let's go to Dagon and fuck shit up. If they're the ones behind this orangutan stealing kids and fucking up my back, I'm never going to be able to wrestle shirtless again for money.
Are you able to walk? Should we maybe help you out of bed?
If I can't walk, you guys could do this one without me. Middlemarch, can I walk?
here's what I'm going to rule for Slab. Okay, Slab got a great success on his final healing roll, so that means he's completely, back to normal. But I think just so we know that the character went through this, every once in a while, it's kind of like like a guy in his 40s, like my back. It's just like that kind of thing.
That hypothetical situation none of us relate to. Yeah, for sure.
I've heard about it. I've seen it on television.
Wait, while I'm building out this character to make it more relatable, could I have gotten addicted to hash that I was using for pain management?
I think that's completely possible. And in fact, if you would like to, if you're preparing and you would like to add opium, because that's what they would have had in London at the time, opium to your character sheet as part of your inventory, then you may.
All right.
And I will say that the doctor who was helping you is a doctor character played by Humphrey Carr, who is very addicted to drugs. So he definitely would have given you hash. He would have definitely given you opium. So add that to your sheet. So Wiggles has made the preparation of getting a weapon, and Slab has made the preparation of grabbing some drugs.
Wait,
Archibald, is there anything you'd like to prepare?
Yeah, can I maybe look to see if there are any, or maybe I would roll to know this possibly, but look to see if there's any because we're at the Hall of Neptune or whatever it's called.
Oh, the Neptune Society, Archibald.
Yes, thank you. I know you're quite the pedant about such things. Is there any information in the room about the cult of the Order of Digon? Excuse me, I don't want to fucking infuriate middle mass again. Like to look up if they have handshakes or uniforms, or just to try to get more information about their operations, so that we could maybe bluff our way in or something, instead of just rolling up and being like, let us in, we're armed and enfeebled.
Yes, that's an interesting idea. I'll allow
and that's the first time you fought like a detective.
You may make a library use roll on the Neptune Society's library of reference. And what is your library use skill?
Well, it is 55, and excellent news, everyone. It is 50 or 60, and
before you tell me what you rolled, I want to say that if you get this, I'm going to give you a significant thing you could use to get in. If you fail it, I'm going to give you something else that Archibald thinks is way more important.
It's as if you just texted me, you should cheat. However, I'm an honest man, and I rolled a 75. So I imagine pulling in a book and a bunch of them fall onto my head.
No, actually, you're very certain that they worship fish. And that they they find the fish to be a sacred animal. So that is your takeaway from studying them. But if you'd like, you may bring some reference with you, or perhaps a notebook with some notes you took. Would that help you?
Wait a minute.
Sure, yeah.
The Order of Dagon. I remember there was a lady with a portrait. She's the only lady in the Neptune Society, so I stared at her portrait every day because I want to be just like her. And I think she had some sort of iconography with a fish on a book in her hand.
Right. Yes. So an earlier character, Alma Serrano, she did write a book about her experiences on the high seas. There she is. And in that book, she described romances with fish people. And that novel is available from the Neptune Society Library. Would you like to take that scandalous novel with you?
Yeah, sure. I'll take
I want to take it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can take it. You thought of it.
I'm a little weighed down with my blunderbuss.
That's okay. You can
carry
this. It's a little book, it's bound in leather or whatever, but it's got one of those ribbons coming off of it, and it's got a weird fish motif on the front. But if you'd like to study that, give me, do you have any library use, Wiggles?
Oh, yeah. No, just the basic.
Oh, yeah. Basic library use roll, baby.
I think because
I know how to use them in that I can pull books off of the shelf.
Yeah. I have the motor skills required to hold them.
I might remind you that I just recently became illiterate. So that was after being adopted.
I think that you can roll your intelligence. Just roll your intelligence for me, and maybe you'll get something from that.
Oh yeah, that's a hard success.
A hard success. Interesting. Okay, so let me see. What could I give you that might be useful to you that you would have found in that novel? I think that you are aware that the Order of Dagon are powerful magicians, and that they probably have magic and magic books and magic artifacts in their temple, and that this place you're going is probably their temple. And you know what? That's all I'm going to say for now. But I think that at some point, you've figured something else out. But we'll find out what it is while we're playing through the adventure. And so, shall we venture forth to the Order of Dagon?
While you guys were doing all the book stuff, you guys noticed that Slab goes over and is standing like nose to nose with the stuffed orangutan, just staring at it, kind of stoically. And then as you guys walk away, Slab leans in, kisses it on the lips, and says, "I'll see you in hell," and "I'll see you in hell," and then turns around and follows everyone out.
I've never had a better exit in this game. Soon you find yourselves standing before a dilapidated tenement not too far away, also in Limehouse. Let me describe the place to you. Yes, here we go. The crooked tenement sits on the edge of the Thames. Built in the last century, the building is crumbling at the foundation, and part of it is in the process of sinking into the river. It hangs out over the water like a suicide, contemplating death by drowning. There is a symbol scrawled in red paint across the exterior of the building on the side facing the street. A triangle and a circle with undulating lines radiating from its center, giving the impression of a tentacled eye. This is the only sign indicating the organization housed within. Ladies and gentlemen, today's adventure of the Neptune Society, Leak House.
Ooh, onions.
All right.
Oh wait, no, I read it.
There we go. You stand before this building, and you must tell me how you would like to approach. You may go and talk to someone at the door by knocking, or perhaps you'd like to take a more stealthy approach. Just to give you an idea of what you're looking at, there is an alley to one side. There are windows facing the alley on the first floor. There are windows on the second floor. The building appears to have 2 floors. Slab, you're looking up at a roof, something that you are used to traversing. And then, of course, the back of the building fronts on the Thames River, in a place where there is some traffic through London because you are in Limehouse. So taking a boat to the building from that direction is also a possibility. Or maybe there's a 4th or 5th or 6th thing that I haven't thought of that you will think of. Let me know how you'd like to investigate.
Now, just real quick, how famous are Slab and I to start? Like in the world, are we like it's well known enough to the point that there's a real risk if I knocked on a door, somebody would be like, "Aren't you that sickly detective we've heard so much about?" Or are we fairly anonymous?
An excellent question. What is your credit rating? It's a skill on your sheet.
Oh, I see it. Credit rating.
I'm not saying this out loud.
It is 40.
40. Okay.
Yes, which in real life would be about my credit rating. 40.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and I have 20, which is along the same lines.
You were always thought of maybe Slab, and maybe this is what caused you guys to start fighting. You were thought of more as the Watson or the sidekick. Look, 40% in credit rating. A credit rating kind of covers your fame a little bit in addition to how much money or ability to move through high society you have. I would say that with a 40, Archibald Frederiksham is known to police inspectors and the wealthy who are in need of private investigators, but not to the public at large.
And I didn't glean any more about the Dagon Society in terms of like their general membership. Like, do they discriminate upon class or anything?
You did not get any of that information, and in fact, I'm going to say that probably the info in the Neptune Society's records was incomplete. They were just keeping track of various dangerous groups in London, and they listed that one. And the only thing you were able to glean is that they worship fish.
Okay.
I've got Slab turns around, eyes fully dilated and puffy. I've got a plan. We should swim in through the sewer. Fish stuff.
I think that's a great idea. How about we come at them from different angles? Slab, you jump in the sewer because I'm definitely not doing that again. I have fallen face first and shit too many times, and I'm not going to do it again. But you know what? Back in my urchin days, I was known for my singing and dancing most of all. So maybe I knock on the front door and pretend I'm a singing telegram.
Interesting.
Yes, well, I too had a plan for myself. I was figuring, as is generally the case with any sort of a named society in London, I imagine this is a bit of a den of perversion and sickery and sicko shit. So I was thinking perhaps I could bluff my way in, seeking some sort of inappropriatenesses or some such. Of course, my uncle was quite well known for such things, so I do believe I am able to sort of spoof my way through such a situation.
You think this is a whorehouse? They worship fish in there.
Well, I can't imagine anything more disgusting than worshipping fish, dear Wiggles.
Okay, so
I could, but it's close. It's close.
It sounds like people want to split the party and try 3 different plans. Now, as your keeper, I must give you one wink and say that could be dangerous, but if you'd like to try it, I would love to see what happens.
Oh, you know what I do have? I have a poor person disguise in my inventory.
Really?
Change of plans, Wiggles. As you are such an obviously street-bound whelp, perhaps I shall disguise myself as such a person too, and I shall play the role of your cruel employer who beats you if you do not sing and dance well enough, and supervises you on such jobs to make sure you do not try to flee my terrible grip upon you.
I love everything that's happening here.
It's like a song and dance camp is what I'm going for.
I'm going to take off my fancy coat that Middlemass bought me that makes me look classy, and I'm going to roll it up, and maybe there's a bush or something I could hide it behind. And then I've just got my regular urchin. I couldn't give up my gloves, obviously. And so, the rest of me is pretty shabby, but that coat's real nice.
Yes. So you now look the part of the street urchin once again. You have doffed your new finer life and returned to the street once again. And so what it sounds like right now, and people can change it if they've changed their mind, but it sounds like Slab is going to try to swim in through the sewer and come in the back way, while Wiggles and Archibald kind of, at the very least, create a distraction or perhaps gain entrance as like itinerant performers.
Yeah. I realized, because Krasmalax mentioned the blunderbuss is an element of my disguise. So maybe I'll just sling my coat over it like a hunchback.
Okay, I like this. I like this.
Some sort of deformity.
I think this is completely great. Okay, so here we go. I think I would like to start with Slab. So, as you guys are getting into costume, you're in an alleyway kind of, Archibald, you're like, how would a poor person wear their cuffs? You know what I mean? Kind of getting into character. Wiggles is, turning herself into a hunchback. Meanwhile, Slab, you have come around from the riverside. And like I described before, the building almost hangs out over it. And it looks like a lot of the foundation of the floor has actually kind of crumbled off into the water. I think you're probably like across the Thames right now, like still in the city, but like kind of looking over at the building from the far side. And so this is kind of probably how you would do the thing that you described to me. You would probably swim and then have to swim under and see if there was some way to get in through the water. The other thing I would like to ask you all is, what time of day did you choose for your assault?
That's a great question. As Slab usually does, he defers to Wiggles. Wiggles, what time did you want to leave for this thing?
Yeah, well, you were just eating breakfast, and then we took off, and I think it's midday.
Yeah.
Done and done. It is midday at the Esoteric Order of Dagon. And so, Slab.
So let me run you through Slab's plan a little bit. Quick question, Keeper. Do I have a bag that's like rubbed in animal fat or something that could be slightly waterproof, or no?
No. What you do have is a small boat that the Neptune Society has lended you, and you can. Well, actually, let me do this. I'll do this. When people don't remember to grab something before they leave, I allow them to roll their intelligence to see if they remembered it after all. So roll Slab's intelligence.
To see if I remembered a boat?
No, I'm going to give you the boat for free, but to see if you remember that oiled bag that you described, which is a smart idea, see if your character was smart enough to think of it.
Okay, stand by. Lower than my score is good, right?
That is correct.
Yes, then I remembered intelligence.
Slab, you may move your inventory into kind of this like oiled bag that you tie off that like won't let water get in and damage your weapons or whatever you're carrying with you.
Yeah, my opium, my rugby ball, and my glasses, I guess, are the three things I have in my inventory. But I don't want them to get wet.
You had some other things. Let me see if I can find them myself.
No, I definitely had some other things. I have a police whistle, a notepad, Punch magazine.
Yeah, it looks like you are.
And I got to put my clothes in there too. Obviously, I'm stripping down to my undies.
Oh,
if I'm
great.
wearing, maybe Slab doesn't wear underwear. He's stripping down to his schwanz is out.
This is going to be incredibly cold. But here's what I want you to do. What is your swimming skill?
Oh, that's something you're supposed to look up before you say I'm going to swim into the thing, huh?
No, I prefer when players decide on a plan and then look at their skills.
What year is it?
The year is 1852.
Okay, good.
I can't wait to find out what that line of.
I just looked it up, and in 1858, the Thames was so polluted that it literally stunk up the entire city.
Great, and
it got hot, and the whole city stunk like sewage.
By the way, it is well on its way to being like that now. You're sitting in your dinghy slab, and you're kind of retching a little bit at the smell of the water. What is your swimming skill, sir?
It's a 45, and
don't roll yet. So here's what I'm going to say. Are you heading into the water? We're going to roll it in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Here's my question: am I upriver or downriver from the order right now?
What would you prefer to be?
I prefer to be upriver so that I can use the current to get me, so I don't have to swim against the current to get in front of to get to where I want to go.
Well reasoned and well planned, sir. That may help you in a moment. You lower yourself quietly into the almost viscous waters of 1852. Slab
thinks to himself that he pledged Yale rugby in 1848, so he's had face full of shit before in his life. He's ready for another round.
You begin swimming toward the building, and now comes the moment of truth. You must give me a swim roll, and you only have a 45. And if you fail it, I'm going to tell you what happens, but it's going to be probably there's going to be problems finding a way in. If you succeed, you're going to do this like a commando. So let's see how it goes.
28.
Hello. check.
Oh yeah, glow is good. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, check your swim skill, or make some note that the swim skill might improve later. And slab, like a Navy SEAL, you slid into the disgusting water, and it's freezing and it's dark. It's almost. I know it's midday, but you're in this polluted water, and you're just like. And then when you get to where you can see that part of the floor has crumbled out, and you find a trap door there, and it's hard to move. You can't move it. And that's where if you had failed, you would be like losing air. But Slab is made of, he's a hammer, right? And so if there's one thing you can do is open baby. Yeah. So Slab suddenly, boom, knocks the trapdoor open and climbs up into a room in the cellar of the Esoteric Order of Dagon. And that's where we'll leave him for the moment. Meanwhile, outside the front door of the Esoteric Order of Dagon, two itinerant singer-dancers approach the building. You're looking at that weird red emblem that's kind of been graffitied across the front of it, and a simple wooden door. So what would you like to do? How would you like to approach and carry out your plan?
I pound as hard as I can, and then I run backwards 10 feet, so I'm ready to do my song and dance. Just don't get in my way.
A man opens the door, and he looks like, a very wide mouth, like hanging jowls. He looks very poor, and his the amount of money he carries, or carries himself in the world. He's got one of those like. Cloth tied. Yes, a cloth tied tightly around his neck, and the air of a servant about him. And he looks at you with like distaste and slight annoyance on his face, and he's like, "Yes."
I jab Wiggles with my cane, and I go. Begin, poverty-stricken one.
Yeah, I have one of those like single note
A kazoo.
Sing my song growing up. But
no, stop. Yeah. No beggars. Get off.
I'm not a beggar. No, I'm coming in because I was hired entertainment for your party. I heard you were having a gathering, and I came in, and I'm supposed to sing this song for your master.
Well, that sounds like a fast talk that I just heard from you, Wiggles.
Nope.
So,
no, it was persuade. It was persuasion.
I'm pretty sure it was a fast talk because it was a lie, and it's something you just need him to believe for the moment, right? So
using my psychology knowledge of what he wanted to hear.
That's a really good suggestion, and maybe that'll come into play in a little bit. But
and can I try to back her up, because I also had a plan on what I was going to say to this guy, which was to be like, we've been hired for a job, and I won't have any wretched doorman who surely doesn't even have 10 quid in a sack hidden in his home prevent me from doing what this witch has been hired to do.
Great. Not great on your language, but great on your acting. So I think that either one of you can make a fast talk roll, because fast talk is usually used for lying. Now, if you want to change your tactic now, you can. You could say, I'd like to tell them the truth. That's persuading. Or making a logical argument. That's persuading. Or you could say, I'd like to try to become friends with them. That's charm.
Well, I think that you are going to be in a lot of trouble if it is true that we have been hired, as my friend said, and you need to watch your own arse and need to not, get yourself in trouble. Best just let us in, and if we get in trouble, then we'll suffer those consequences, and maybe get a stick to the bum.
It sounds like both of you have picked the fourth option, which is intimidate. Now you've moved to you better let me in, or it's going to be your ass.
Okay.
You needs to roll intimidate, and here's what's going to happen. If you fail your intimidate roll, he's going to be quite pissed off, and he might call some friends out to talk to you. if you succeed in your intimidate roll, he is going to believe that he's going to get in trouble if he doesn't let you in, and he's going to bring you into the house.
Do you have? Can I metagame here for a second?
Absolutely.
I have 15 intimidate.
You don't have anything in intimidation either. All right.
I'm really good at persuading.
Okay, I really feel like I'm throwing rocks tonight, so I'm gonna. Can I get like a bonus because we're both trying to get this guy?
Wow, that's just what I was about to say. You can get a bonus because you're both trying to intimidate the guy, and also I think there's one other way you can get a bonus. Do you think Wiggles showed him a little of her stuff?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wrote a whole song.
Oh my God!
Grown up politics. Please your throng as the deep in their pims. You best not do me wrong, and let us both come in.
God damn, that's another bonus die for sure. I was gonna make you roll song and dance, but if you wrote your own song and dance, that's just a bonus die. So you are gonna roll that 15 intimidate, but you're gonna get 2 bonus die.
Okay.
And it's the same as Gabrus. Like that's how bonus dice work. You can swap out the first die.
That's right. You swap out the 10s die.
Okay. I got a 29, which sounds good, but I've only got the 15.
Remember, you can
use another
10
20. It was really good rolls overall. But
what was your best roll?
29.
But you said you got a 20, right? Oh no, then you rolled the 10th die and you got another 20. Damn. Okay. Archibald, I'm gonna allow you to try it because you were also trying an intimidate tactic.
Okay, I got a 39. Oh, baby. Big boy got a 9.
There it is. No checks because it took a lot of setting up and working together to make it happen. You guys have just been sitting here giving this guy the hard sell for like 10 minutes. He's like,
we've got like makeup and hats on.
Fine, I'll take you to Reverend Orn. Come in.
Can I also now try to charm this guy while we're walking with him?
Sure.
Okay. As we're walking, I'm like, much appreciated, sir. I'm sure someone is you who understands the way the real world works. Knows
and then I kick him really hard in the ass as the two of them I'm walking behind. I kick Archibald because he hit me with his cane.
Oh goodness! I'm in agony just thinking about the time it would take me to beat this whelp if you had not let us in. So I appreciate a man who knows the world as well as yourself. Appreciate a gentleman's time and what a waste it is to have to beat children when they are unable to accomplish their tasks.
Yes. So you want to charm with that?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get him over onto my side.
Did you want to roll?
Children too, right?
Yeah. We're both poor. Poor people beat their kids.
I'm going to allow you to roll your charm, but that was the least charming thing I think a person could say. So
he just got a point this round. Don't forget. So his charm is improving.
Go ahead and roll your charm. Go ahead. Let me know how you do. What's your charm skill?
46 now.
Okay.
What the fuck? Oh, so hold on. Sorry, I have to roll again. I rolled 2 single digits.
Okay.
I got 39.
39. So you succeeded. So this man goes, yes, well, children can be monstrous little creatures, can't they?
Yes, and I look back at Wiggles and like rub where she kicked me, and I go like I'm like really hurt. I'm like really upset. There are like tears in my eyes, and I'm like really in like a lot of pain. And
I'm back. You hit me with your cane.
I pull out my handkerchief, that's covered in fake blood, and like cough into it a little more, and like make it obvious to her that it's covered in blood.
Yes. At times, children, they don't even seem like they belong to the same species as us, do they?
No, of course not. Some sort of small misbehaving, perhaps I don't know. I don't care for them.
Yes,
What species do you consider yourself, sir?
I will bring the master, Reverend Orn, to you. And word to the wise, he's a man of God. So if you want him to perhaps let you play at his meeting, then I suggest you show him that you too understand faith in Christ. And he waddles off. So you have been seated in a parlor, and this parlor is, it's a place where guests would be entertained. But I just have to tell you, there's old paintings of wide mouthed, like thick lipped, like with protuberant eyes, ancestors, and shelves of curios. And there's actually a part that's been roped off with like old knotted rope from a ship. And you can see that part of the parlor is just like the boards have rotted through, and they've just roped that part off so that people don't step on it and fall through the floor into a lower level.
Does that look like it'd be towards the direction of the Thames?
It does. It goes downward, and you know that the lower levels seem to be connected to the Thames. That's what Slab told you.
And how it's just rotting. There isn't like a hole there. It's just like rotting.
There's a little bit of a hole. Like you can tell they had a close call one time. Maybe a foot went through, and then their method of fixing it was to just rope it off.
All right. He left us in the room with the door closed, right?
That's right. And you are not too far from the front door that you came in through. You went down a little corridor. You passed, you passed like a dining area and another door. And then on the left, you went into a little parlor.
I want to quickly, can we scope out this room and see if we see the lens?
Absolutely you can. And no spot hidden necessary. You do not see the lens in here. You do not. But you do have a moment to do something, because you can hear the butler or the doorman speaking to someone in another part of the first floor. They're kind of growling at each other. So in this moment, what would you like to do? Or would you like to wait for Reverend Orn to appear?
Is there a chair in the room?
There certainly are several chairs.
And does the door open from the inside? That's an important part of this plan. Like, does the door open into the room or out?
Let's find out.
Yeah. Pretty awkward when a chair just clatters into the hallway.
The door opens in a way that it could be blocked by a chair.
I fucking wedge that chair in that doorway. Do I have to wait for this, or I wedge the chair in the doorway, and then if like I have time, I go and start trying to like pry the boards up more so that they
I take my blunderbuss and I just slam it into the floor using the butt of the gun.
Guys, you are looking down into like some kind of weird like stone chamber where you can see the ceiling drips. Like you are looking down into some kind of strange kind of antic chamber below the parlor, and you may enter if you'd like. Is that where you're going to go now? Or are you going to go down into there?
Oh,
you want to jump first, or should I?
There's no like rope or ladder or anything?
It's just a hole.
Because you just hit a hole in the floor.
Okay, right.
If you have a rope, you can try that. I actually think that Archibald just said that to Wiggles. Is there no rope or ladder?
There's no rope. You just jump. Do you want me to do it first?
Goodness, how do such people live with jumping and springing from the ankles and knees? This is no business for people in any sort of society, but yes, if you must, you go ahead and I'll follow.
I grab onto the ledge we just made and
before you go down. before you go down, I pull out my ink because I have a notepad, so I'm assuming I have like an ink and pen or whatever with me. I take out the ink and I put a little like ink cross on your forehead, and then I go, just in case, and then I push you down into the hole and do one to myself.
The second that Wiggles with a ink cross on her forehead and Archibald Frederickson disappear down into the hole, the door to the parlor starts going kung, 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 kung. And you hear well, you don't hear it, you guys are gone, but someone is aware that you've locked them out of this room. And so now let's cut back to Slab Harrington. Slab, you find yourself in a room. Let me get this exactly right. You find yourself in a room that's completely made of stone, and the place where you've kind of come through it is through this trap door. This is kind of like a basement room. It's very large. It has like a big ceiling. It's got sort of a stage where someone might stand in front of people, and it has a podium there. Like it looks like the inside of a church, and in fact, there are actually rotting pews in front of that podium. There are big, thick green curtains, and all over the floor, painted, are nautical icons. Tridents and lobsters and shellfish and octopoids of all variety. They've actually been put in mosaic form, and there's also along the walls like different like artifacts and strange things. The one that you note the most is behind the podium in a raised platform, even higher than the person that would be standing at the podium, is an idol, and the idol seems to have been carved from like a tusk or from like ivory or baleen or something. It's like a big pointed like monstrous kind of like fish idol with like a sharp like cone like head on top of it. Okay, so you are looking into this room, and that is what you see. Would you like to look around, and what would you like to do?
I'd like to look around. He's saying to himself, like, everyone gets all the credit. I get sliced up by an orangutan, and he's like, Slab's really attached to this fish idea, so he doesn't get dressed again. I'm going to keep all my clothes in a backpack and stay like fully nude, and I'm just going to start looking around at some of the. I have a cover story in case I run into anyone. So being nude is a major part of that, and I'm going to and Slab. For the viewers, Slab has an average size genitals, but he has a huge frame, so it looks small on him. This is just something I'm familiar with, just for building characters.
Really important. Yeah, did you write that on your character sheet?
Yeah, if it was in a drawing or a photo, it would look fine, but like with the background, it's got a little bit of a hobbit next to a orc. Right?
A close-up photo, maybe next to a shampoo bottle. It's normal.
Right. Completely normal. Slab, I think I would like you to roll your listen roll.
You got it.
Oh, thank God. That was the roll.
And Slab, if you get this roll, what is your listen skill, by the way?
It is 40.
Okay, if you get this roll, you're going to have some help in your investigation, and if you fail it, something bad is going to happen.
Hell yeah. Oh, shit. I rolled a 2.
Hey, excellently done. Go ahead and check your listen. That could improve later. And
did someone's locomotive just arrive?
I know. I don't know whose house was built near the ghost train, but it's really adding ambiance today. Slab, you hear the voices of Archibald Frederickson and Wilma Wiggles emanating from the wall near you.
Okay.
Behind one of the big green curtains.
Oh, okay, cool. So I'll go over. I guess I want to take a closer look at the idol first. What are we here for? The purloined lens.
Thank you. Hey, using alliteration really helped you remember. From a previous adventure, there is a crystal lens. It's sort of rose or lavender colored in hue with weird writing around the outside of it. And that lens was originally stolen by Wiggles' band of little pickpocketing urchins. And when that happened, they were chased by the policeman, Sergeant Fluke, who has some horrible connection to the Esoteric Order of Dagon, where you are right now. That is why everybody logically concluded that the lens might be here somewhere.
But I don't see it out amongst the ephemera that's out in this room. I don't recognize and would I recognize it if I saw it?
You would recognize it based on its description, but if you would like to go looking for it, do you want to look at the idol? Do you want to look for the lens, or do you want to?
I want to look at the idol first, because that's obviously just drawing my. Slab has got a terrier brain. He's like, oh, saw the idol. Let's check the idol real quick. 100 ideas going at once.
Absolutely, Slab. You walk up to the idol, and it is truly horrible in aspect. Someone has carved a visage onto really the bone of a creature once living, and they have given it's the look in the thing's eye, the mad look in the effigy's eye, and as you approach it, you begin to hear drums beating in your head. Boom, 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 boom. And you must roll your power, sir.
Power. Okay.
There it is.
Oh, sick. For someone who doesn't play Call of Cthulhu too often, what skill is power?
Power is the power of your soul, your willpower, your magical ability.
Oh, sick. Okay. That's a 45. I rolled 49, but I'll use 4 luck.
That's a good idea.
Threatening.
You realize you've become completely sort of hypnotized by the thing, and then you snap out of it before you touch it. And that is when I am going to rule that Wilma Wiggles and Archibald Fredrickson, you're walking up behind Slab, because the place you found yourself to have fallen into was sort of a passage beneath the house.
Oh, we found a monster. We have to fight a great hulking hairy thing.
If you're seeing me from behind, I'm fully nude.
Know that Slab is fully nude.
I'm fully nude, huge scar on my back, dripping wet, facing away from me.
Gross and terrifying. I pull my blunderbuss on him.
I push the blunderbuss up, and I go, don't ask me why I know this, but I know exactly who this is.
Does he turn around?
I turn around upon hearing, if I hear
full
Archibald.
body.
I turn around Austin Powers style. The podium is right in front of my genital.
Thanks to your listen roll earlier, you were expecting to see them, Slab. Thanks to your listen roll. So,
are we in the sewer right now? Like, is there still sewage on the ground, or are we in? It's like a separate thing.
It's like a cellar, and it's actually a very strange room, and most houses would not have this. Just to describe it one more time, because it's important, right, to know what environment you're moving around in. There is a trap door in the floor that Slab entered through. It is still popped open, and you can hear the waters of the Thames sloshing around in there. There are pews, old rotting wooden pews. There is a kind of a raised stage with a podium, and beyond that, an even higher raised sort of dais with this disgusting idol on it. There are big green curtains flanking the room, but in certain spots you can see where there are shelves of knickknacks and curios and things that would be valuable to whatever church worships in this particular temple. Now,
can I roll my education to see if I know anything about this totem? I've learned a lot from being around, listening, sitting under the conference table at the Neptune.
Oh, you learned it by listening, eh? Roll your listen. And if you do, I'm going to say that you've been listening so much under the table at the Neptune Society that I'm going to allow you to get a little bit of Cthulhu mythos.
Oh, yeah, we did it.
Yeah, you rolled your listen.
Can I give it a check?
You can, and you can add a D10 to your Cthulhu Mythos skill.
Ooh. Okay.
You've just been listening to the members of the Neptune Society talk so much that you've picked up a couple things. Only a 2. Actually, add 5 to that, Becca. I think it should be at least 7. And here's the other thing. I'm going to say that between that and the novel that you've brought with you, you may be able to figure something out here. Right? Let me know when you're using that knowledge, right? Now, I will say one other thing. Cthulhu Mythos skill is very dangerous because the more you have of it, the less sanity you can have. So your maximum sanity you can ever get to is now 7 points lower. A 93 is the highest that Wiggles could ever have because she has 7 Cthulhu Mythos points.
Ooh,
ladies and gentlemen, you know that the order, the people above, are aware you're pulling something. Frederickstrom, you know this because you propped that door shut. You know you don't have a lot of time. So you need to tell me what you're going to do with the time that you have before these guys are on you.
So how big is the idol?
The idol is not so large that one man couldn't carry it, but he would have to kind of put it over his shoulder, sort of like he's carrying kind of a burden. He would have to use 2 hands probably.
And can I roll spot hidden to see if I see anything else in the room?
You may do that. And if you roll your spot hidden, I think that here's what's going to happen. If you roll your spot hidden right now, you're going to find a clue to the mystery. And if you fail it, then you are going to be unaware of something important that's happening. Give me, what is your skill in spot hidden?
50.
Okay, 50% chance. Roll it.
17.
Ooh.
I want you to check your spot hidden.
Okay.
I want you guys to know that Archibald Fredericksham went over to that podium and he kind of messed with the carved fish that were on the side of the podium, and one of them turned and the podium popped open, and inside there was a sheaf of papers and a big, heavy, leather-bound book.
Throw it in the water.
No! What are you doing? Slab, you big hairy ape!
Slab is sheepishly looking through his bag for pants right now. Now that there's more people.
So can I start flipping through the book?
Yes, the book. Oh boy. Okay, so the book. It looks like it's written in Latin. And the first title page, frontis page or whatever, describes it as Cathat Aquadingen. I'm not going to bother to spell that right now, Cathat Aquadingen, but I can tell you that it also has weird old medieval illuminated drawings of fish and fish people and
wait a minute
and things like that in certain sections of it.
I am inspired by this and my slight Cthulian knowledge from creeping under that table, and I want to use this moment to see what else I know about fish people and their mating rituals, or whatever Alma wrote about.
Yeah, well, here's what you know.
Specific question, Wiggles. Wiggles, that's a very specific question.
No.
Specific question.
Generally, what I've gleaned from this romance novel that is based in some Cthulhu mythos.
Here's what you know, Wiggles, and it's a horrifying revelation because as you look through the book over Fredericksham's shoulder, you realize that these people that live here, these people that worship in this strange underground temple, are slowly, inexorably giving in to the call of the ocean, and they are transforming into aquatic man-fish. And then, in fact, Sergeant Fluke, who you've known since your early childhood, was
I see it now.
He is not sick. He is not
I see it.
He is actually trained. You finally can tell that he is actually transforming. And you think, Wiggles, that if you intone a chant that Fredericksham currently has his finger on in the book, you could call forth Sergeant Fluke right now.
Would my song background help me in this endeavor?
It certainly would.
And wait, I'm sorry, I forgot. What does the thing we're looking for do again?
You can see through it.
Unimportant right now, Will.
Right. Okay. I guess it's just the type of thing. It's like I was wondering if we're like someone was like, "Hey, find my looking glass," and now we're like in with Satan. Like,
no, you look through it and you see all the Satans in the whole world.
Okay, like the camera swirling around us while Slab goes, "Shit just got real."
Just to be clear, if people want to stop Wiggles from doing this, this is not a course of action you must take. I told her that she would figure out something incredible from her very good research roles, and so she has done. So she could sing right now and bring forth, she thinks, Sergeant Fluke. Do you want her to do that, or do you want to try something else?
Well, there's one thing before I do this task that I must know in case I don't live longer. What was Slab's plan if someone found him naked that wasn't us?
Well, I said, Slab says to Wiggle, Wiggles, good question. Does anyone else know you guys are down here?
Oh, yes. Probably at this point, all of them are well aware that we're down here, and
Jesus, we gotta move.
Probably in hot pursuit.
In fact, you now hear footsteps coming from the direction of where you heard, like, behind the curtain, like Wiggles and Fredericksham earlier. You can kind of hear footsteps and shouts.
Okay. I load my blunderbuss.
Okay, great. Slab, what would you like to do?
I'm actually typing this into the chat, but what was the word on the title of the book again? What was the last word? The proper noun?
Aquadingen.
Aquadingen. Okay.
Right. I had Aquadingus in my head.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Which is my old screen name. I jump on the floor and start fully still naked. I stop getting dressed. I jump on the floor, enacting Slab's plan, and start flopping all around, saying, "Please stop! Please stop!" And I'm just like whipping all around on the ground. Like,
okay.
So are there places to hide in the room?
There are these big heavy green curtains. There are shelves and the podium, and there are various things. Would you like to try that, Fredericksham?
Yeah, I'm gonna hide behind one of the curtains. It's not too far from the idol, is it?
It's not too far.
Okay, I'm gonna try and hide behind one of the curtains.
And Wiggles, what are you going to do? So we know that Slab is trying a very ballsy distraction. We know that Fredericksham is sticking to his character and hiding. And we know, what is Wiggles doing?
I hold on to the podium and I start in my best voice to belt these words. I don't speak Latin, but I do know how to solve a mystery.
All right. That's absolutely true. Here's what happens now. I would like, let me tell you what happens first. The curtain gets thrown back and a strange, skeletal, man with big, wide, fishy eyes and a clammy, almost blue pallor comes into the room, and he is wearing the cassock of a member of the Anglican Church and a huge cross around his neck, and he looks at Slab because Slab is the person who is immediately noticed. And now 3 rolls are going to occur. Archibald is going to roll his stealth in order to stay hidden. Wiggles is going to roll her singing in order to intone her spell. And Slab, you are going to... this is such a physical way to fast talk someone. What skill would you like to use for this, Slab? What would make you happy?
That's a good question.
And are you trying to distract or fool? Actually make him think a certain thing is happening?
I'm trying to make him think a certain thing is happening. But
are you trying to make him think that you're under the power of the idol?
I'm going to start screaming Aquadingan in like a gurgly voice as he comes in, pretending to me to be like evolving or devolving into some sort of aquatic creature.
I want a power roll again. It's the force of your personality. How much willpower is Slab putting into this performance? Okay. So so let's start with you. What is your power?
45.
All right. And then Wiggles, what is your sing?
65.
Okay. And Fredericksham, what is your stealth?
Gentlemen and madam, it is 20.
Okay. Everybody roll. Okay. Slab, how'd you do?
I rolled a 33. So pass.
That's amazing. The man, and then how did you do on your stealth roll, Fredericksham?
I rolled a 56. Thank you very much.
Okay. So the man clocks you immediately. And then he shouts for, like, get down here. Get down here, all of you. But then he walks over to Slab, and he's looking down at Slab, and he's gloating. He goes, ha, 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 ha. Dagon chooses those he wishes to grant his blessings to, you fool. Ha, 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 ha. He's eating your soul as we speak. And Wiggles,
My
how
soul!
did your thing roll go?
Succeeded.
Wiggles, you have a new song that comes out of your mouth all of a sudden. Rise, O nameless ones, that in thy season, thine own of thy choosing, through thy spells and thy magic, through dreams and enchantry, may know of thy coming and rush to thy pleasure, for the love of our master, Knight of Cthulhu, deep slumberer in green. You intone all of that. Maybe some of it's in Latin. So you can definitely feel as you lose, let's see, 2 magic points. And in addition to that, I want you to make your sand roll.
Uh-oh. Okay.
What roll for Becca? I'm sorry.
Just
Sign
for
out to
Becca,
me.
toned a spell. She needs to make her sanity roll.
Good.
Cool.
We're way good.
Okay, great. You lose no sanity, and you Wiggles is the only one who's aware right now that the water in the trapdoor is starting to bubble and slosh over the edge. So now I ask Slab, what would you like to do? You have this guy kind of hook, line, and sinker, and he's actually paying more attention to you than Fredericksham, but he has, because Fredericksham failed, he has called his minions down to follow him. So you only have a couple minutes. What are you going to do?
I will look. He's pretty close to me, I'm assuming.
That's right.
I'll start crawling at him, screaming, "My soul, my soul!" But when I get within arm's reach, I'm gonna throw this motherfucker into the trap door.
Fredericksham, what are you going to do?
I'm going to point the. I'm going to point my blunderbuss at the. Is the idol doing anything?
At the moment, no, it's not.
Okay, I'm going to point my blunderbuss at the idol and to get the guy's attention again. I'm going to be like, terribly sorry to be a bother, but I do believe if you don't stay where you are, I will be destroying your archaic relic to whatever nonsense you happen to be subscribing to at the moment.
I think that's really an excellent plan. It may contradict Slab's plan, so.
But this is I'm trying to I'm telling the guy not to move. Is what I meant. I want the guy to stay there, and I'm trying to get his attention on completely off of Slab.
Okay, and
because I know the classic Slab flop around. All right, you think I don't know the flop around? This is how many times have we done the flop around?
Archibald, how many times have I ran into a pub and dropped trow and started defecating to cover you as you did what you needed to do for the case?
Yeah.
Wiggles, now that you have definitely summoned something forth from the deep, what are you doing after that?
I gotta arm up my blunderbuss and pack in that gunpowder.
Okay, so Wiggles is getting armed as well. So here's what happens. The guy standing over you, gloating. You move toward him, Slab, and he starts to kind of like jump back, like, wait, he's not quite sure if this is safe. And then that's when Archibald gives his little spiel and it's like, I'm gonna blow the idol up. Archibald, I think no roll necessary for that because he definitely does not want that to happen. Mm-hmm. So when you point a gun at it, he's like, no, and he's not looking at Slab for a second, and that's when Slab makes his fighting roll.
Hell yeah.
Slab, if you succeed in this roll, the guy's going into the water. If you fail, he's not going to go into the water, and he's going to start fighting back next round.
I rolled a 34, and my fighting is 75. Yeah.
He turns to Frederick Shim and goes, wait, wouldn't you know? And then that's when Slab's hand comes up and pulls him down and rolls him into the trapdoor. There's a big splash. And that's when you all suddenly hear, and like water is like splashing up, and the guy's like, and he comes up for a second and grabs onto the edge. He's like, nah! And he's like getting dragged back down, and blood is like squirting up out of the trapdoor. At that very moment, the curtain on the other end of the hall opens up, and 5 guys come in. And of those guys, one of them's got like a flintlock pistol. The others are holding like truncheons. They look disgusting. They look like, savage monsters, but they're barely kind of keeping up the semblance of being human. They look like eels stuffed into waistcoats, and they come through the door, the butler's among them, and they see their master kind of being like ripped to shreds in the trapdoor, and suddenly the Reverend goes boom, under the water.
Quickly jump in and save him. He called for you to help him.
They go, no, it's the will of them that live in the deep. They've accepted their sacrifice. And they suddenly fall to their knees, and they start to kind of just sort of like bow toward the trap door.
That's right, and I summoned the demon to come here, so now it is me you must bow to, Wilma Wiggleton.
Includes the nickname.
Quick question, Keeper. How much are we allowed to strategize outside of game, like together?
I allow a little bit, and sometimes if I think it's getting out of hand, I stop it.
Okay, cool.
What is your strategy session you'd like to have very quickly?
I think Archibald might be our best bet to get out of here because I think they're all afraid of that something happening to that idol. So maybe
I'm about to get all these goons to work for me.
I actually think while this is good strategic thinking, John, and Slab would be great at helping Archibald and everything, I think that what happens now is something that might change your plans, which is a voice comes from the trap door. Do I hear the voice of Wilma Wiggles up there?
I know that scum bucket's anywhere. And you don't have to with a blunderbuss, but I try to do it anyways.
Yeah.
I poke the powder and I aim it at
a strange dampness starts to fall over the room. Like beads of moisture slink down the walls, and the candles that were flickering in the different corners suddenly go out, and now it's extremely dark down here, and the only light is somehow cast by some kind of weird illumination coming from the trap door. So there's like a weird kind of a green, like, bubbling sort of haze on the walls, and you can kind of see that someone is kind of like looking up out of the trap door, but you can't quite see their face.
How far is the idol from the trap door?
It's about 20 feet.
Oh, okay, yeah, never mind. I was gonna see if I could kick the idol over into the trapdoor.
And how far away is Slab from the trapdoor?
You're very close because you just threw a guy into it. So you're about like at most 5 feet from this thing. So you're the closest. But this voice comes out and it says, "Why have you brought me here?
soon I must leave to dwell in joy forever in Cthulhu.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Maybe it was a bad idea to bring you here, but thanks for eating our friend. Maybe we'll call it even.
Archibald and Slab, where we're so clearly like, Wiggles, you brought,
Yeah.
hey, you want to, like, this seems like your party now.
A huge webbed hand onto the top of the floor out of the trapdoor, and another hand, and a creature begins to rise up out of it. It has almost the torso of a man, but it's got the enormous, like, trying to breathe kind of like countenance of a fish, and all of you look upon it. Yes, look at its horrifying visage. Look upon it.
Wild.
Are you uncomfortable? Everybody must roll SAN. Everybody must roll their sanity.
Made it.
Oh yeah, 28. Oh, I'm unbelievably sane at the moment. For I am an atheist, and while this is all very strange, I do believe there is a scientific explanation for all of this.
I live my life on the streets, and I've seen weirder shit than this.
You've actually seen one or two weirder things than this. Slab, how'd you do?
Slab, this is up there for one of the weirdest things he's seen, but it doesn't drive him insane.
Great. None of you lose sanity at viewing this creature. And it sort of shuffles over to Wiggles. The other members of the Order of Dagon are just like, they're just keeping their heads like on the floor, like nose against the floor, like bowed down. And it walks up to you, Wiggles, and it's going to put its hand toward you. What are you going to do when it does that?
If it's close enough to do that, I want to shoot it right between the eyes, and hopefully I won't have to roll I'm not great at firearms, but maybe there's a default that it's just right there, and I've been prepping this gun for a while.
You may make before you do that. Well, no, that's what you want to do. You're doing it. Go ahead and it's a new combat round. Everybody that wants to fire their guns, and I think two of you had them ready, may do so. Is Archibald firing at the idol or at the creature? Or is he not firing?
So the creature has its back to me now?
It does, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just thinking out loud here for a minute. Because my strategy, no, it's a blunderbuss. I'm absolutely not going to be like, a precise tool. My original plan was to throw, because obviously my amount is replenished. I was going to throw an overwhelmingly lethal dose of cocaine at the fish monster because it has such enormous nostrils.
Horse skin.
But gills. Like there's just so many areas for it to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
And the idol still is not like the idol is still not like glowing or anything.
The idol is still not glowing. No. No.
So can I just we do like an initiative for combat? I don't remember. Sorry.
No, that's quite all right. People go in dexterity order, and people with guns armed that they're using go first because guns fire before someone can get to you and swing up. Nice.
Can I hold my action?
You can, but I would like for you to tell me what you're going to do when you get a chance. Like you need to kind of say, if this happens, I'm doing this.
Okay, so if the worshippers start to get up, I'm gonna fire at them. If it seems like if Wiggles misses with her blunderbuss and Fishman seems like he's doing damage to her or something, I'm just gonna have to fucking roll the dice and try to only I'm going to try to only blast him. Because here's the thing. Here's my bluff. I don't actually... Because I have to play in character. So, as an atheist, I do not believe that idol is magic. This was like a bluff. I believe it would be a useless endeavor to shoot this idol. Because
That's
I
good.
do believe... I'm like, that guy is man in a costume. Man who was not... Whose mother did not drink enough Guinness while she was pregnant.
Yes.
Just like something that acclimates to my Victorian science brain.
I agree to all your premisi, and I say that covering the worshippers, covering the members seems like a very smart move. if they move toward her
And I'm
move
going
toward any of you.
The guy with the pistol is my main target too. Like
Okay.
he's the guy I'm gonna try to get over all of them.
Okay, no problem. You've got them covered. They are still kind of bowing, but they kind of raise their head. If well, let's see how Wiggles' roll goes. Wiggles, let loose.
Yeah, well, maybe for distance I can get a bonus.
I think that's fair.
Point
I think
blank?
that you are firing into this thing's face at point blank range, so I'll allow you to have a bonus die.
Ooh, almost did it with luck. Okay, let's see. No, okay, I could spend 15 luck because I only have a.
luck expenditures. This is my house rule because I'm a son of a bitch.
That's why I told you how much.
Luck expenditures. I don't like it when people go 75 luck. Now the book says you can spend 75 luck, but I'm a piece of shit. So, knowing that, Becca, would you like to
38. Well, here's the thing. No, because I'm not gonna get below a 25.
Okay.
And I never learned anything about how to use firearms from old Captain Middlemass. Or
So
did
here's
I?
what- it feels like
Interesting
you,
pitch, Wiggles.
Becca is such a good player. Such a good player, always wheedling for a little bit more of a bonus. But I think in this particular case, Wiggles does fail. So here's what I'm going to rule. Before Wiggles can quite figure out how to get the barrel like right where she wants it, the creature grabs the blunderbuss and throws it away and throws it away from her. Yes. And you are now, your failed roll means that it is now like on top of you, and it does place its big webbed hand against your head. And now, Slab, I forgot to ask what Slab is going to do. Yeah, Archibald, you're going to continue covering the minions, right?
Because I'm going to figure Slab is going to do something here.
Slab, what are you going to do?
You know exactly what Slab's going to do. What does Slab do anytime he runs into a giant anthropomorphic animal? This motherfucker is going down. I charged the fishman to get a huge cheap shot on him from behind.
Go for it. So you're like gonna like sucker punch him haymaker. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Give me that brawl roll, Slab.
24.
That's really good. Okay, do your damage. Do your damage for a brawl attack.
So sorry, that's a D3 damage, and then I get a bonus of D4.
Yeah, so you could get up to 7 altogether.
What's a build +1? I'm just curious looking at this.
You sometimes when your build is smaller than a monster's, it's harder for you to hit them or do damage. But this thing is man-sized, so it's not a problem for you.
All right, so I'm rolling for damage. I got a 1 on the D3 and a 3 on the D4. So
you did
4 damage.
4 altogether, and I can tell you some of that damage seems to be blunted by this thing's like thick, like weird, like outer coating, and so you only do 3 damage. You just like pound. It's like pounding into the side of a whale, like bong. You just feel your fist go into blubber, and I'm gonna rule that it does not even like look back at you. And now that it has its hand on Wiggles' head, you can see the face of Sergeant Fluke, Wiggles. You can see that it is this man you once knew, and it looks at you and it says in its voice, it goes, "You have made the sacrifice. What boon would you ask of me?"
Maybe I can get back that cool lens.
Great. That is what you say. You're like, the lens. I want the lens. He begins to pull away from you now, and it looks like he's going to speak some more. What would everybody like to do? Slab, would you like to keep trying to make his day worse?
Wait.
You did do damage, by the way. You did do damage. It wasn't like you did nothing. I just had him kind of react that way.
Yeah. But he doesn't seem... Am I aware that the threat level is going... From years of barroom brawling, I'm doing a total Wiggles move here. Am I aware of like how the fight is cooling off? Like, am I aware of his actions at all? Or
let's see. Make an intelligence roll for me.
Okay. Also, can I whisper loud enough so Slab can hear? Can I go? In case you weren't aware, a boon is a good thing.
Right.
I rolled a 9 and I have a 65.
A 9 out of 65. Great. You realize that the creature was just doing some sort of ritualistic kind of religious thing by touching her, and it's now moving away from her. And I'm going to go ahead and end combat, but I will note that because it sounds like Slab will not attack anymore, knowing that, right?
Yeah.
And Archibald, you do have these guys covered still. Okay, they're covered, and the creature says
Fleet Prison. The lens is in Fleet Prison.
Who has it in Fleet Prison?
I must go now. Can you hear the singing? So beautiful.
And he begins to slide back down into the trapdoor.
The lens belongs to Dagon. See that it is returned to him.
You really think I'm going to give it back to his weirdo fish god?
No. Not now, Wiggles. Not now. No need to. Perhaps we can have this conversation later.
Yeah, but there's no way in hell. I'm keeping it. That's mine.
So,
I got a boon.
Finally, the minions begin to raise up again, and the guy with the gun is kind of looking at you and starting to point it forward.
I go.
We'll just be leaving.
Oh, I was going to say. Yes, you with the pistol. Be a dear and drop it before I blow your fucking head off.
That is a really great intimidation. You can roll intimidation with a bonus die.
Okay. Well, it's not very high. I rolled an 8. I can't fucking believe it.
You did it. And you didn't even have to use your bonus die. Check your intimidation. And the guy pulls his gun back, and he pushes his guys back, and he goes,
"Leave now, unbelievers."
Didn't I say drop the pistol?
Okay, he drops it.
Okay, great.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I want the pistol is what I'm saying. I want to take that and keep it.
Oh, yeah. You got it.
All right.
Okay.
I'm just
it's got a little bit of seaweed on it.
All right.
I'm just gesturing for them to go. My gun.
I go to leave, but not before taking one step backward, dipping the back of my long coat down over their idol, and standing up and walking out and saying, "Yep, yeah, sir," and then walking out sort of sideways so they don't see.
Wiggles, you've decided to touch the idol. In fact, you've decided to put the idol under
Oh no.
Wiggles.
I don't know if you remember, but
I think we've come to the final roll in today's session.
It touched my coat and it touched the back of my shirt.
Wiggles, you hear a far off beat of drums. As you all exit, you say that you want to exit, I think. Just correct me if I'm wrong. As you all exit the building, you hear the far off beating of drums, and you feel a voice whispering out to you across the aeons, and you must now roll your power.
Okay, I thought it was going to be sleight of hand, but no problem. Can I spend a little luck, or
you not on a non-skill roll? This is an attribute roll of power. Did you fail?
By 3?
Okay,
that's a house rule, by the way.
Oh wait, you can. No, you're right. I'm so sorry. Would you like to succeed? You may spend 3 luck. Of course you may.
I'll spend them. Yes, please.
I mean, Gabrus literally saved earlier. He did a saving throw to make sure he didn't touch the idol. Like when that happened, I was like, "Oh, well, now we all know we can't." Yeah, it was like his original power role was to break his hypnosis as he was like being forced to touch the idol, as if the idol was like, "Hey, let me do you a solid."
Well,
and then Wiggles like tiptoes backwards.
Perhaps these investigators, although they may sometimes argue, sometimes they fumble, sometimes they make fools of themselves. In fact, often, perhaps deep inside, they're made of stronger stuff because Wilma Wiggles, you call up the willpower inside of you and you make the voices and the drums stop. And you have made it out of the esoteric order of Dagon with an eldritch tome that contains great occult wisdom. You have made it out with an idol to Dagon that has some sort of dark curse on it. And you have made it out with the location of the lens that was stolen from the Neptune Society. And when we come back next time, these three intrepid investigators will try to finally retrieve the lens that they've been investigating and searching for in these last two adventures. But for now, you head out into the streets of London. Wiggles walking kind of strangely because she has a giant narwhal horn in her coat. And what do you say as you walk out into the evening dusk of London, everybody?
I don't say anything. I just take out my bag of tinctures. I pull out a bottle of ether. I dab some on Hanky, and I like take a huff, and then I hand it over to Slab.
Yeah, this is like our post work beer.
Yes. Yeah, we just huff ether on the way back.
Wiggles?
I'm
fully naked, I realize.
You look
I forgot that part.
I never found them.
I think we found it. I think we're good. I think a naked man is walking with Wiggles and Archibald.
A child and
in the Limehouse. But we will
make a normal day.
Yeah, the skill rolls to handle that will be made off screen. That is today's session. Thank you, Becca, John, and Will. That was so fun. That was amazing.
Thanks, Jared. Always a blast.
And we're gonna
don't
bring
worry,
you back.
the coat was my hunchback. Yeah, someone was worried about the coat.
Yes, she can't give you the coat, John. She's got to keep the coat over her stolen goods.
Yeah,
and I don't want to catch a chill.
You guys were fantastic. You handled that so well today, and you had great rolls. And it was you just took the esoteric order of Dagon to church.
I was scared. Because I rolled so shitty for all my like check marks and stuff, and then dropped the fucking hammer on any roll that was like. Thank God that it was like life affirming.
Yeah, you took the leader of the Dagonites and you sacrificed him to the fish creature. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I settled my feud with Fluke. So now
you guys are actually your relationship is a lot different and stranger now. Well, thank you guys again. We're going to have these three back next week for the final chapter of Dread Expectations, our Dickensian Cthulhu investigation. I'm going to say goodbye for now. Please find these guys on Twitter, online, wherever you can find them. Becca Scott, Jon Gabrus, and Will Weldon. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And I'm going to hang out for just a little bit. If people have questions or just things they want to tell me, they can put those in the chat, and Clint will throw them up for me to see. In the meantime, I just want to remind everybody that our title card is by Will Pottorff, who does incredible monster illustrations. Follow him on Instagram as well. Will Pottorff, Pottorff. We also had some great game art from Ross Bryant there, and he's Ross BB on Insta, at Ross BB on Insta. And one more time, our music for the Neptune Society was from our listener Warbird, and you can find more of Warbird's music on SoundCloud. So just search Warbird. Remember that we have these Gen Con games coming up, guys. Please sign up for them. Please watch them when we do them. We're so excited for them. We're taking special time to prep them and make them fun and bizarre and crazy. The Neptune Society game that the Gen Con attendees are going to play in is a story about the very first members of the Neptune Society, the founders of the Neptune Society during the Battle of Waterloo. I mean, I'm having to research the Battle of Waterloo to get this game ready, but of course, that's something I would like to do. So, but we're really trying to make these big and crazy, huge events. So we'd really love it if you tuned in, and also definitely tune in this Friday for our Blades in the Dark game with the Glass Cannon guys. If you are unfamiliar with Blades in the Dark, it is the new standard in role-playing games. Like, you know, the way that people got into Dungeons and Dragons and it became a religion for them, the way that they got into White Wolf, the World of Darkness games, and it became a huge part of their life. This Evil Hat games, Blades in the Dark, it runs kind of on the Apocalypse engine. This is the big game now, and it is so cool and runs so differently from any other role-playing game that you've played. So you need to check it out just to check out the rules, because they're really kind of inspiring. Okay, do you guys have merch? Deanna, is it Dean? It's Deanna. Deanna, we need to have merch. We need to have it right away, and I think we need to have Will Pottorff and Ross do some designs for us. We are working on that. Right now, Gen Con is a big project for us, and then once we get that out of the way, I think you're going to see a couple new things from us, and we're going to be announcing some of the new shows. There's going to be like a new show at Gen Con. So, very excited about that, and I will definitely look into getting some more merch. So that's that. Okay. So I saw John. Oh, my top 10 mythos creatures. Why no love for the rats in the walls? What is the mythos creature, the monster in the rats in the walls? I wasn't naming my favorite stories. I was naming my favorite monsters, and I think in the rats in the walls, it's kind of about like some sort of like ancient race that lives below this castle, but it doesn't particularly have a monster in it, right? My favorite part of the rats in the walls is when they go down into that like subterranean civilization and you find out about it. That is so cool. And that is one of the first mythos stories I ever read, and I loved it. So I do have love for that story. Maybe on the Facebook group, I should do my favorite mythos stories, my favorite mythos gods. I mean, I'll do all those lists, and please give me yours when you see it. What's my favorite mythos grimoire? That's great. I mean, how can you not love the play The King in Yellow, which according to the stories it's in, if you even just glance at a couple pages, you become obsessed with it, and it ruins your life and decays everything around you. And it's like this famous banned book, you know, that was like burned in like, you know, the French Revolution or something. The King in Yellow is a really cool mythos tome. I'm trying to think if I have like a deep cut mythos book that I think is kind of dope. I need to think about it, but the King of Yellow is the first one that comes to mind for sure. Great. Someone mentioned, you know, I posted a list on the Facebook group. Go and join the Facebook group for Stream of Blood. We post all kinds of things on there all the time, and we would love to talk to you and hear about what you think of the shows or your suggestions or ideas. I use ideas from the chat and from the Facebook group in the show. I need your ideas. It's hard to be a game master, and I'm creatively bankrupt. So please give me your free ideas. And also follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and hit that little heart on Twitch so that you're following us there. That's it for today. I had such a great time. I hope to see you on Wednesday when we're back with Vampire, 6 p.m. Pacific on Wednesday. Until then, Shub Nugurath, Cthulhu Fatagan. Bye-bye.